Leave nothing for tomorrow which can be done today. Nearly all men can stand adversity, but if you want to test a man's character, give him power. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak out and remove all doubt. No man is good enough to govern another man without the other's consent. That some achieve great success is proof to all that others can achieve it as well. I would rather be a little nobody than to be an evil somebody. No man has a good enough memory to be a successful liar. Those who look for the bad in people will surely find it. America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any other thing. In the end, it is not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. I don't like that man. I must get to know him better. Things may come to those who wait, but only the things left by those who hustle. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. I am rather inclined to silence, and whether that be wise or not, it is at least more unusual nowadays to find a man who can hold his tongue than to find one who cannot. We can complain because rose bushes have thorns, or rejoice because thorn bushes have roses. If I am killed, I can die but once, but to live in constant dread of it is to die over and over again. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and to the young, it comes with bitter agony because it takes them unawares. The older have learned to ever expect it. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? I am a slow walker, but I never walk back. When you feel discouraged, seek healing in the labor. Folks are usually about as happy as they make their minds up to be. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. My best friend is a person who will give me a book I have not read. My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side, for God is always right. I'm a success today because I had a friend who believed in me, and I didn't have the heart to let him down. Books serve to show a man that those original thoughts of his aren't very new after all. When I do good, I feel good. When I do bad, I feel bad. That's my religion. Whenever I hear anyone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally. There are no bad pictures. That's just how your face looks sometimes. I can see how it might be possible for a man to look down upon the earth and be an atheist, but I cannot conceive how a man could look up into the heavens and say there is no God. I am not bound to win, but I am bound to be true. I am not bound to succeed, but I am bound to live up to what light I have. You can fool some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My own wisdom, and that of all about me, seemed insufficient for that day. Character is like a tree, and reputation its shadow. The shadow is what we think it is, and the tree is the real thing. Always bear in mind that your own resolution to succeed is more important than any one thing. We are not enemies, but friends. We must not be enemies. Though passion may have strained, it must not break our bonds of affection. The mystic chords of memory will swell when again touched, as surely they will be, by the better angels of our nature. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. Elections belong to the people. It's their decision. If they decide to turn their back on the fire and burn their behinds, then they will just have to sit on their blisters. My father taught me to work, but not to love it. I never did like to work, and I don't deny it. I'd rather read, tell stories, crack jokes, talk, laugh, anything but work. You cannot escape the responsibility of tomorrow by evading it today. I am in favor of animal rights as well as human rights. That is the way of a whole human being. In this sad world of ours, sorrow comes to all, and to the young it comes with bitterest agony, because it takes them unawares. The older have learned to ever expect it. The Lord prefers common-looking people. That is why He made so many of them. You cannot help people permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves. If this is coffee, please bring me some tea. But if this is tea, please bring me some coffee. I am a firm believer in the people. If given the truth, they can be depended upon to meet any national crisis. The great point is to bring them the real facts and beer. It is difficult to make a man miserable while he feels worthy of himself and claims kindred to the great God who made him. A house divided against itself cannot stand. I believe this government cannot endure permanently, half slave and half free. I do not expect the union to be dissolved. I do not expect the house to fall, but I do expect it will cease to be divided. It will become all one thing, or all the other. The probability that we may fail in the struggle ought not to deter us from the support of a cause we believe to be just. I don't know who my grandfather was. I am much more concerned to know what his grandson will be. When I get ready to talk to people, I spend 2/3 of the time thinking what they want to hear, and 1/3 thinking about what I want to say. 77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Be with the leader when he is right. Stay with him when he is still right, but leave him when he is wrong. I do the very best I know how, the very best I can, and I mean to keep on doing so until the end. The Bible is not my book, nor Christianity my profession. I could never give assent to the long, complicated statements of Christian dogma. If there is anything that links the human to the divine, it is the courage to stand by a principle when everybody else rejects it. I have come to the conclusion never again to think of marrying, and for this reason, I can never be satisfied with anyone who would be blockhead enough to have me. You can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be, do anything you set out to accomplish, if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose. The greatest fine art of the future will be the making of a comfortable living from a small piece of land. As I would not be a slave, so I would not be a master. This expresses my idea of democracy. Die when I may. I want it said of me, by those who knew me best, that I always plucked a thistle and planted a flower where I thought a flower would grow. It is said an Eastern monarch once charged his wise men to invent him a sentence to be ever in view, and which should be true and appropriate in all times and situations. They presented him the words, "And this too shall pass away." How much it expresses. How Chaz. Which quote did you like the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on the next video.